the River Dee Estuary, wide, bleak and mysterious, straddling the border between England and Wales. The coastline, haunted by wandering restless spirits, seeking respite from misfortune and pain. Countless stories could be told. I will tell you just a few. Who am I? Spirit or reality? I could ask the same question of you, or any of the solitary figures you think are real. And there are the unexpected sounds you sometimes hear. Sounds from things long disappeared. Like the Priory bell that's calling me to prayer. At the Priory Hospital, I spent my life looking after weary travelers and shipwrecked sailors. But now, not a single trace of the Priory remains. And gone too is the estuary's wide expanse of tidal sand. For the solitary man who comes to watch the birds, sometimes not a single bird is seen or heard, but instead the sound of horses, ghostly travelers from the past, crossing the ford from Flint. King Richard was held as a prisoner at the castle of Flint. His spirit now haunts the ruins, gazing out across the wide river estuary to where the Priory once stood. Visitors to the castle might sometimes hear the distant Priory bell of long ago, or the ghostly echo of Richard's voice that haunts this empty tower.
Now give my large kingdom for a little grave, a little grave, an obscure grave, or else I'll be buried in the king's highway, some way of common trade, where subjects may hourly trample upon their sovereign's head.
Our God-appointed king was denied sanctuary at the Priory, this place forever cursed. And when the Priory was abandoned and it fell into ruin, the curse remained within the fallen masonry. In more recent years, a few scattered stones were picked up and set into garden walls. It is better not to touch. Walk away in case misfortune strikes you down. Young Mary's ghost haunts this place. Her cry is carried on the bitter wind that blows across the marsh. Her voice is only ever heard by those who come this way alone. When there's no other person here to ask, "Did you hear that cry?" So then you think perhaps you didn't hear a voice. It was just the moaning of the wind, playing tricks with your imagination. But then, like a siren, Mary's voice returns to draw this solitary man along the old abandoned dike. The same dike that Mary walked when she called her father's cattle home. On the fields where the cattle grazed, now stands a factory, grim and grey. And the yellow sands, once washed by the river's tidal ebb and flow, have been swallowed up by endless marshland. Here in the gathering darkness of a storm, young Mary lost her life. Swept away by the rising tide, her body never found. Now all that's left is Mary's wandering, restless spirit, still calling her father's cattle home. A ship half drawn up upon the land, far from the sea where it belongs. Is it a ghost or something real? A plaintive voice, mingling with the wind, calls out in sadness.
Help me, please, help me.
Draw closer, and a visitor will find this ship is real. But there is a ghost, a restless spirit that haunts this colossal wreck.
Why leave a dead ship here? It has no soul, no spirit to haunt itself. When she was living, I worked on this ship, but I died before she died. Toxic fumes in the engine room took my life. This ship is cursed. So beware! It brings nothing good to anyone.
The solitary people who pass this way might say they have seen the ship, but in fear of being ridiculed, they will not admit they heard the ghost that haunts it. Early on a Sunday morning, a girl sleeps uneasily, disturbed by unsettling dreams.
Joshua? Joshua, are you there, Joshua? 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 Are you there, Joshua?
Martha's husband Joshua, butler to Lord Leighton, fled Leighton Hall with Elizabeth, a young kitchen maid. They planned to escape to Ireland, setting sail from Park Gate on Sunday's midday tide.
Lord Leighton kept a loaded gun in his coat pocket. I drew that pistol and I set off to find my husband, determined that he would not live to see another day.
Martha went from boarding house to tavern to coaching inn, hammering on doors, calling out her husband's name.
Joshua? Joshua? Are you there, Joshua?
At the last house in the village, the Ferry Inn, she found her unfaithful husband with his mistress.
Joshua and Elizabeth fled across the sands towards the waiting ship. But Joshua's heart was tired and weak, and filled with dread and fear, Joshua gave in to death. When I reached them, Joshua was lying dead on the sand. Justice had been served by fate. But the devil took the hand that held the gun, and I shot Elizabeth, stone cold dead.
The murder of Elizabeth still haunts this wide river estuary, and on Sunday mornings, the sound of Martha's pistol shot is sometimes heard. Martha was hung high upon the gibbet for the murder of Elizabeth, the kitchen maid, and buried in an unmarked grave. The houses of Park Gate are still haunted by her restless spirit, and early on a Sunday morning, you might hear her calling out her husband's name and hammering on your door.